the prayer of a righteous person, the prayer of a faithful person. The prayer of a faithful person is powerful and effective. And if we looked even deeper at all of those verses that I just mentioned, we would see this common stream of faith through all of those. So what does this effective prayer look like that James talks about in verse 16? I think if we look at all the surrounding verses, James gives us kind of the pieces that we need. First, we need to identify our prayer. Are we praying for the sick? Are we praying for us or someone in trouble? Are we confessing sin? Is it a happy prayer and we are giving praise? We see these examples in James chapter 5, starting at verse 13. Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise, which is a form of prayer. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them. Second, we need to offer prayer in faith, because prayer backed by faith gets things done. It's almost like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but we're not bugging God until he's on his last nerve. James 5:15 says, and the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise them up. If they have sinned, they will be forgiven. Prayer offered in faith. Because prayer backed by faith gets things done. Prayer backed by faith gets things done. Prayer, an action word, a work word, a doer of the word backed by faith gets things done. It gets God's attention. Now, listen to what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that God only listens to or acts on certain prayers. What I am saying is that all of our prayers are heard and are answered by God. And as Christ followers, all of our prayers should be coupled with faith in Jesus. From bless this food to heal my sick friend. Here at OCC, we believe in servant leadership, which means if we're going to ask you to do something, that we should be willing and better be doing it too. And prayer is one of those things. And let me say, one of the things that I have been most impressed with since coming on board here at OCC is that this staff prays. This staff prays. We pray with each other. Sometimes that's one-on-one in somebody's office. We pray for our community, and sometimes that's physically going out and walking the neighborhood and praying over the houses or apartment buildings. We pray for the organizations that we partner with that bring hope and healing to the people of Louisville. This staff prays. Every week on Wednesdays, we meet as a staff. One Wednesday is spiritual development, staff development. We're going to talk about a book we're reading through. The other Wednesday is prayer. So every other Wednesday, we're doing nothing but praying. So believe me that when we are asking you to pray, when we are up here preaching about prayer, when we are posting to social media to pray, we are doing it too. This staff prays, and it is an awesome thing. Third, we need to pray earnestly. We will see some examples of this in a minute, of earnest prayers, but I want to focus on this word earnestly and kind of define what that means. with sincere and intense conviction, and to be serious. So prayer's not a joke. It's not something we do to just check off the boxes. Okay, this morning I brushed my teeth, check. This morning I prayed, check. And then we're done. It doesn't work that way. We saw 1 Thessalonians, pray continuously. So it's not a once a day thing. It's not a once a week thing. It's an all the time thing. We also see it in James 5:17. Elijah was a human being, even as we are. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain. And it did not rain for 3.5 years. All this points to the fact that prayer is an active thing. Prayer is not a passive thing, it's active. Again, we go back to James 2:17, that faith without works is dead. And if I'm telling you that prayer, a work, should be backed by faith, then prayer is an active thing.